So there are 3 things here that are my go-tos when I am thinking about planning my year. I need a teacher's planner. I need to create something to tell me what I'm doing for the year. And then I spit out a schedule at the end, especially something that's child-friendly. Hi guys, my name is Annie and I'm a Christian homeschooling mum here in South Australia. We have 4 kids and we live on a hobby farm here in the Adelaide Hills. So the first thing I want to work out is how often I want to do each subject. That will help me decide what books I'm choosing, and it will help me decide what curriculum to say yes and no to. So for example, math here, I want to do that every day if I can, except Fridays when we have a bigger co-op day. So let's say 4 days, but then something like, let's say composer study or geography, I don't want to do that as often. Maybe once a week. Maybe history might be a couple times a week. Whether we want to do Latin every day or every second day. So I have to just work out how often I want to do each subject, and that will help me for step 2. Rightio, so step 2. So before we go much further, guys, I just wanted to explain how I get to actually create my subjects and subject topics. So I do spend quite a bit of time looking on different websites, such as Ambleside Online, Memoria Press, Simply Charlotte Mason, See Me See, Well Trained Mind, The Good and the Beautiful, My Father's World, and other classical Charlotte Mason type websites or blogs. And I see what they are doing for the age that my child is, what kind of subjects, what kind of books they're recommending, and I just jot down some notes. Then I take all of those and create my own list of subjects, and I know about how many times I want to do those subjects each week after also looking at their weekly schedule recommendations. I have got an Excel document that I have printed and binded where I have listed down the side each subject, and I have then thought about the topic that we want to focus on, and then the items we will use, whether I go into detail about the chapters or whether I just remain broad and just list the books so that we can take our time. So a good way to do this, guys, is when you are purchasing a curriculum, work out how many chapters there are, or whether you're looking at a read aloud, and how quickly you want to complete that book. So if you're using an English curriculum and there's 120 chapters, you could work out, okay, if I'm doing 5 chapters a week over 40 different school weeks, I divide 120 lessons by 5 times 40. And then you can work out how long that is. Sometimes when I'm looking at a read aloud that might be 10 chapters long, I'll just automatically say I want to do about 1 chapter per week, or it might be a very long read aloud or audiobook, and so I'll span that out over the whole year. And remember, I refer to my weekly schedule to see about how many times I want to do that subject. If I'm picking more than 1 book and it means that I'm doing geography 2 times a day, I will know that that's just too much, and that will help me decide what to say yes and no to. Please note as well that I only plan 1 subject at a time. So I only start from the top, I get that really well done, and then I'll move on to the next subject. It might take me almost half a day maybe to plan a subject, but I know that I'll have that planned for the rest of the year. And then I follow the guide week by week. So I'm just going to go down so that you can get a glimpse into how I structure this. So when I'm thinking about Bible, start first. That's always my first subject. I think about the types of things that I want to teach them, and then I go across and say, do I need a curriculum, 1 or more, of something to use to achieve that? And then how often about do I want to do it? Who do I include? Do I have separate curriculums for different ages, or do I just keep it the same? And then I basically highlight it as I've done it. So these are my different sort of topics in Bible. That doesn't mean that they all happen at the same time. For example, this was week 1 at the start of the year, so we didn't have a Christian read aloud. I left that till about week 6 because I just wanted to start with less and add more in as we go. Although it looks quite overwhelming, this Bible verse and catechism here is all in a memory folder, along with other things that are down below, like our hymn is all in a memory folder. And so a lot of these things are quick 5-minute things, but at least I've listed them so I know what my topic is and what content or curriculum I want to use. Poetry, again, just 5 minutes, but at least I've listed the poem that we want to memorize for the term, as well as the book we want to use, whether we want to do the same every week, which we do, or whether we want to change it. And then as we go down Latin, I just spend time working out, what I'm going to use. I'll do some research on that. And then if I have an idea of how often I want to do Latin, that helps me. So I've got Latin, Latin, and Latin. So about 3 times a week. Then that helps me work out what curriculum is going to achieve that. So I've written here 4 times, unlikely. It could be if we get time on a Wednesday. That's obviously the goal, but it's kind of 3 to 4. And then going down for literature, again, I write down the different parts of literature. And here I've got 2 books that we want to be working on. I usually pick an Australian type literature book and then something that has been recommended by something like AO for that age. And then we keep on with our Aesop and our 50 Famous, which is good for the little Kinderlebens, or even the earlier forms as well. And so as we go on, I've scheduled it each week, and I have gone forward and I have done the whole year, because when I purchase my books, I like to purchase them for the year. It helps with shipping, especially when I'm shipping things from things from America to Australia. And it also helps me realize, do I need to take 2 terms to do a book or 1 term? And therefore, how many books about do I want to get through? That will help with my budgeting as well. I always look at the contents page if I can to see how many chapters, flick through to see how long the chapters are, so that as I schedule chapter 1, chapter 2 in week 3, that I can see that that's doable or not. Sometimes I'll have to do half a chapter, or maybe even 3 chapters at a time if they're really small. As we go down, I have Shakespeare, and I have a Shakespeare video if you want to see exactly how I do that. I started with a biography book, which was really good, and then went into our lessons. And then Greek myths, which you can see it's not highlighted. So I actually, as I was going down that week, that was something that we didn't get time to do. So I just left that off, and there's no pressure. I've actually re-looked at that at the end of the term and thought maybe we're going to start that towards the end of term 2 rather than try to put it in term 1. So again, that was just a little bit too much. Economics, again, just about 1 chapter. The kids have been loving that book. That's added in our mat time book basket. And then we have some different types of histories. So we've got history, Australian history, world history, and then we do some other read alouds, biographies and things. So that's listed down the side. As we go down, we've got geography. I have 1 semester, I have a heavier focus on history and a lighter focus on geography, and then we swap it over. And I have the opposite, so that we can put some more emphasis on history or geography depending on what the semester is. So there's our different types of geographies that we do. Australian geography and read alouds, which we were halfway through a book, so that's why it was obviously starting at page 18. We do a certain type of geography which is focusing on more elementary physical geography, that we do on a Friday as a co-op. And then we also have culture, learning about different countries, what they eat, their languages, and that takes place for a modern language for us. And I sort of tie that in with missions as well, if we're focusing on a certain missionary that has spent some time in a certain country. Down below we've got science. So again, different types of sciences. So there's science on a Friday. So you can see there's nothing there because I actually don't teach that subject on a Friday. So that's another mother. So we trade some subjects where I'll teach more the geographies and she teaches more the sciences. And then we have our science read alouds. Now this is just audio, so we just have that on like a Spotify or a Yoto card, and we'll listen to that for fun when we're driving. But again, that is still school, so I have listed that in here, and I like to note whether we have done that, even though it doesn't really take any of my energy and no teaching power. I can still talk about it with the kids and see what they've learnt. I love this subject here. We have a beautiful creation science time on a Thursday, and yeah, we do a read aloud, and we do some nature walks and journaling on a Friday. And then we have art down the bottom. So that's obviously not all the subjects. We've got art, science, geography, history, economics, Shakespeare, literature, Latin, poetry, hymns, and Bible there. Continuing on, it didn't finish all on one page. Our other subjects here. So these are our co-op subjects here. Again, nothing was filled in here because we didn't start co-op until halfway through the term. But we will fill in, what the different topics, content, curriculum will be as we go, which is all pre-planned and worked out already. But I don't teach every subject. I only teach one or two, so it's not something I have to plan and prepare for. But at least I know it's there and I know how we're achieving that. And then going down, I have the 2 children here, the older children, and listed the kinds of things that I wanted them to do for these subjects here of English, maths, and then Bible. I called it homework, but it's really just personal, quiet time, reading, whether they're doing some reading for themselves, like novels at night, and then whether they have some other homework from our co-op subjects, and then their music. And so that's pretty much their independent time. And then down here are our Kinderleben aged children. Again, it sounds heavy to say a 3-year-old's doing English, maths, music, science, games, art and nature, but when everything is learning, it is really a beautiful thing to see and write down and celebrate. So we do have like a good and the beautiful little preschool fun games and activities book where we're learning, some phonics and tracing and songs. And so I do write that down in English because that's really the category it goes in. And again, similar with these things down here. We have a little book basket that they enjoy doing with their older sibling. We have some maths only with our 4-year-old, games, music, sort of program they do on a Thursday, and again, some different science kind of experiments and fun things they do on a Friday. So all preschool related and aged. And then you can see here, as I've highlighted them, they're the ones I've achieved. And some days I won't highlight all of them, but it's a good idea. I need to sometimes catch up on my highlighting. But yeah, it's a good idea for me to look through and just be like, okay, now I know about what chapter I'm up to, and then I can flick straight to the next term. So we've got over here, say here, this is the start of term 3. And so I already have an idea when I go to government and economics, whether I'm still doing that same book. Yes, I am, because it's quite a long book. Or whether I'm changing it up. Maybe I'm changing up the literature. Yes, I am. I'm doing Blinky Bill. Maybe I'm changing up the history. And so that just helps a whole year to have an overview of the year and just see what are the different books we're wanting to do, subjects, focuses, topics, so that it is a smooth sailing ship. Not all the time, but that's the plan. And then from there, I have a list then of books that I can purchase that align with the subjects that we've done. And I just go through, add them to cart, and find the cheapest way, cheapest shipping in order to do that. I will not go ahead and purchase necessarily the whole year if it's not in the budget, but at least I know what to look out for secondhand. I kind of have an idea, and I know when we're going to finish certain books. I hope that has been helpful for those who are interested in learning how I plan and how I get my head around the year, because this really does allow for minimal planning throughout the year, and I have found this so helpful. It does take quite a bit of time in a January. However, it is what I have seen has been worth it. I have then been able to spit out this schedule and edit that a little bit more so that the children can see exactly what we're doing and when, and everyone knows what's happening. And then finally, we have our teacher's planner here, which I also purchased early in the year, and through another video you can see how I schedule it all out and what I write in for my backwards planning. So all of these three come in really handy, and that's the way that my mind thinks when I'm planning my year.